Well, welcome to Drop In Mentoring with SCORE and also Tom Sims and also Workshops to Go. We are happy that you are here today and that you are participating in this mini webinar. It's maybe a little bit longer than most of our mini webinars because today we're going to be talking about a subject that is going to take a little longer to cover, funding your business, and really just part one, because we're going to deal with two ways to fund your business. And we're going to go kind of quickly through them and dig deeper in future webinars, but I want to touch to borrowing and to crowdfunding. So hang on to a little bit about borrowing and crowdfunding as it can help you begin to fund your business venture, your entrepreneurial venture. So the first thing we want to talk about is there are 5 ways that you can fund your business. And those 5 ways of funding your business are personal investment or funding from friends and family. Now, the first part of that, personal investment, we often call that bootstrapping. That is, you fund the entire business out of the money that you have, out of your own personal resources. Or your friends and family may come along and help you with that. I'm not really addressing that today, but let me say this. Every business that borrows should have some personal investment involved, some skin in the game, and you want to aim for about 25% if possible. You want to aim for being able to fund about 25% of your business before you ever think about borrowing. The second is traditional lending, which is generally from a bank, and SBA loans, which is sort of from a bank, but it is guaranteed by the government. And it is a little easier to get for new businesses who don't have a track record. The third is outside investors. Those are the people that come along. Sometimes they're angel investors. Sometimes they are business investors that want to have a share in your business. But what makes them investors is that you are either paying them back or you are going to be giving them some ownership in your business. The fourth is something we're going to talk about today, and that's crowdfunding. And the fifth is fairly rare because there are not many available and they're very competitive, but that's grants. Now, what if you decide to borrow money? If you decide to borrow money, then you need to keep in mind that there are 6 C's of credit: character, capacity, collateral, capital, conditions, and cash flow. What about character? Character answers the question is, will you pay? Are you the kind of person that takes care of your debts and your obligations? And so there are some tools whereby a lender will measure your trustworthiness or try to predict these things: trustworthiness, personal business history, integrity, quality of references, experience in the business, and also the impression that you make upon the lender or the investor when you go to see that person. Capacity begins to answer the question, can you pay? And those factors are, is your company able to repay the amount borrowed? How soon can you generate a positive cash flow with this business? When will you first begin to show a profit? How large will your profit be? And can that profit be sustained? Now, don't worry if you're not getting all this right now, because at SCORE, that organization will offer you a free mentor who can kind of go over these things with you. Plus, there are other workshops that will delve deeper into these matters. Capital also answers the question, can you pay? How much money have you personally invested? It also shows your commitment to the task and your ability to save money and accumulate growth in building that equity. Conditions. Well, that's the terms of the loan, how much you're requesting, the length of the loan, the interest rates, and that will also be affected by the local economic climate of your industry and the local economic climate of business in general. Also the national climate. The next C is collateral. Collateral means you have a secondary source of repayment. Third-party guarantee, tangible assets that can be sold to pay your loan should your profit not materialize, property, equipment, accounts receivable, inventory. These are all part of some of the things that can collateralize your loan. In other words, it makes it safer for the lender to do business with you. And then your cash flow. Where is the money coming from to repay your debt obligations? Where your credit score is going to be an important part of all of this. We've done the 6 C's now, and it is nice if you can have a credit score of 700 or greater. That's desirable. Some of the SBA loans dip lower into the 600s. You can find out your credit score, your personal credit score, at www.annualcreditreport.com. What will bankers want when you come to see them? Well, they're going to want to have a cover letter of introduction on your request, a summary of financial needs, your business financial statements for 3 years if you're already in business. If you're a new loan, you're not going to have that. Tax returns, projected cash flow statements, collateral, personal tax returns for 3 years, personal financial statement, and a resume. So you want to catch up. You want to get your personal financial house in order and your business financial house in order. And then they're going to ask, are there any legal claims or liens or judgments on your business? Are any of your assets pledged? In other words, there are other people getting paid before they get paid. Are your tax returns and payments up to date? Do you have life insurance? What's the face value or cash value? Incomes and expenses. You say, well, what about, this is my business. Well, they want some personal guarantees as well. We're going to give you more information on borrowing, and you can go to score.org and browse around and look at some of the webinars that are on that site that you can register for, some of the resources, some of the articles. There's a whole library of business articles. You can also go to sbc.gov and get some very good information. Well, let's talk about crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is becoming very popular, and there are some do's and don'ts for small businesses that are going on Patreon or some of the other platforms, Indiegogo and so forth, if you're going to ask people for money to help capitalize your business. Why crowdfunding? Well, it's a recent phenomenon. It's been facilitated by the web and the internet and social media, and it can be a very powerful tool for raising funds, elevating your visibility, and engaging with a community of supporters. But before you do this, do clearly define your project. You ought to be able to give an elevator speech. You ought to be able to reduce your ask to a few sentences. Hopefully you can do it in one sentence. And you do want to set a realistic goal. It can't be, well, how much can I get? It can never be more than you can use or more than is reasonable. So make it a realistic goal. Offer some attractive rewards if possible. You will get a subscription to our very valuable newsletter or a book or 3 months of 25% off. You can just brainstorm these with your mentor or coach. Do tell a compelling story. Remember, it's often said, it's a cliche I use a lot, facts tell, but stories sell. So tell your story, make it a show and tell. Do utilize visuals that are engaging. When you put up your site, your website, or you have a PowerPoint uh, or a video, make sure that your visuals are engaging. Hopefully this is an engaging visual. Do leverage social media networks. You're going to have to get on there and have other people help you in this process of spreading the word. Do communicate regularly and try not to drop your E to the next line. I'm going to have to fix this for the next time I do this webinar. I saw another thing I needed to fix on one of my slides. Do not do some things. Do not neglect planning and preparation. You want to plan this and prepare for it and don't launch it too soon. Do not overpromise and underdeliver. Always overpromise and underpromise and overdeliver. Do not underestimate marketing you should build some very elaborate and regular thank yous into this crowdfunding program. And do not ignore the feedback that is given to you. That's going to be very, very important. Don't give up too soon. This is a long haul. This is a marathon. And here are some platforms that you might want to consider, you want to look at. Kickstarter is a great place for creative projects. It is often, and at the last time I checked, it's an all or nothing. You're either going to raise your whole goal or none. So that's a drawback. And you have a time frame that is set. Indiegogo has a lot of flexibility, the various kinds of projects. You want to go to all these sites and look at them. And so you just GoFundMe is really good for charitable causes and for individuals who are seeking to raise money. Patreon is very great for creators and artists. So you'll find a lot of people on YouTube that use Patreon. On a lot of these, you can blog on them. You can offer more content. You can offer videos. Patreon is one of these places where on that very site, you can reward your participants. Here we have Seedrs. It's a lot of people will use this in early stage startups, and you can find investors there. Crowdfunder is a place where you can find donations and investments, and it can be used by businesses, nonprofits, and creators. Fundable is for businesses and startups, and it is reward and equity based. Many of these crowdfunding platforms are not a good place to find equity funders, but some are. Kiva is a place for microloans. So you paid the money back that you get from Kiva, and it is especially designed for underserved communities. You can also become an investor in Kiva. You don't get the money back, you donate it, but as a Kiva investor, you have the warm feeling of helping other people start businesses. Microloans and a little easier to qualify. Here are some of the links to find these. I will try to make these available to you. You can write to me. You can get this information by contacting us, by putting your contact information in the comments wherever you are seeing this, or by writing to us at SCORE because I'm also a SCORE volunteer. You can get your own SCORE mentor by going to score.org/find-mentor. You can contact /Tom Sims. You can go to the Central Valley SCORE website at score.org/Central Valley. You can find out our other opportunities. You can also discover when we are offering our weekly drop-in mentoring sessions on our Zoom link, and you can register for those, and you can register for any of our webinars, and we hope you will. We can help you at SCORE. We can help you do further research on your idea, complete your feasibility plan. By the way, it's another slide I'm going to work on. Finalize your financial forecast, develop your business plan, prepare your loan package, launch your business, or grow your business. So that's the end of the webinar today, and hopefully that is something that will benefit you, our friends, and you can look at it again and again if you like, and it will help you understand what's going on. We meet every Friday at 11 o'clock at Pacific time with drop-in mentoring. We're here for at least 30 minutes. And we'll go a little longer. We can go as long as 12 if you're in the room and you want to pitch your idea. We'll have a program like this, usually about 15-20 minutes, and then time for your questions on any area of your business. So it's score.org/Central Valley to get involved with this. If you want to contact me personally, there's my Linktree information, and would love to hear from you. Okay.